All right, so we're just finishing up a little tag-in conversation about what got me started in putting together this work and how that started back when I was a teenager, and then it became vivid and real and shocking around 2010-ish. And your question, Natalie, was just, do I see this as a cyclical
The
event?
collapse, human caused collapse, is it cyclical? It seems like we get just so far and then,
Right.
or are these times unique?
Yeah, but I'd say yes.
Unique?
Yes, yes to both.
Oh, yes to both. Okay.
But every other cycle of collapse has been a single region or a single culture.
Right.
And they went through beginning, middle, and end, and
Right.
we know the story, and it's pretty easy to track those. And those
Yeah.
cycles are useful for us, and perhaps we'll learn something out ahead of this that we're in, and probably not. And to answer the other half of your question, from my perspective, is this is at a scale that humanity has never seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
What's coming within my old guy lifetime is is going to be absolutely obliterating for even without the physicality of or the cruelty or the inequity or the any of the stuff we know is coming. The just the sheer scale of trying to get our heads around what's going to be coming on a daily basis and shifting our lives, even those of us who are in these hyper privileged countries. Oh, we've got it so good. We don't have to feel anything. What's on TV tonight? It's it's just endless. It's going to be it's going to be blowing our minds literally.
Well, our privilege has an expiration date. We will be the last to be impacted, but it's coming. It has to.
Mhm.
So it behooves us all not to feel so secure and special.
Yeah.
What? You mean America isn't exceptional? We're not exempt from all this stuff?
No, we're not. Who knew?
We still act like we're exempt. That's what's amazing.
Yeah, we do. Well, because that's what we've been taught. And that's what we believe.
Oh yeah.
We've been
I
fed
know.
that from birth.
Oh yeah, I know. It's amazing how the arrogance that's kind of bred into us through our American programming is really intense.
Yeah.
Arrogance and ignorance, the
Yeah,
dynamic
the
duo.
two, and they go together perfectly, don't
They
they?
do. They do.
Right.
And they are lethal.
Jesus, I know it's amazing. So you asked us to come back with a topic, right? Like something we wanted to talk about, right?
But before we get there, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that you're wanting to, get right up and do it. I just want to for introduce this particular second session of
Okay.
two from October 4th. And in the first session, if you haven't joined us for that first session yet, it was sort of the introduction to the introduction to what this work is about, how we're shifting that to be as effective and invitational and welcoming as possible to this the most extraordinary and difficult conversation in human history called human caused collapse of both earth and human systems. And so last hour we got to introduce ourselves and let each other know kind of where we are on our own determined inner spectrum of collapse awareness, collapse acceptance, how we experience daily life in these times. Because these times right now that we're in when we're recording are a whole different order of magnitude, more intense, more rapid fire, and more vicious. I don't know another word for it right now. It's a lot harder to find people's sweetness these days. It can be done. It can be done even on YouTube, where I spend quite a bit of time just keeping a pulse on the what's being said and shared.
Yeah.
But it's hard. These are hard, hard times. And so this particular second session, I'm targeting for approximately a half an hour from right now. That will be done and wrapping up. And what
Sure.
I'd like to ask us to share, as you were just about to recap for us, Richard, is if you perhaps have one aspect of what can be called the polycrisis that is particularly challenging for you right now. It's really pushing your limits to how much you can hold and how much you can stay present in the face of this kind of tension, this kind of pressure that many of these aspects of the polycrisis carry with them. And then why I'm asking us to share that is we are all, I would consider us all at least in the middle of the a different way of looking at how we can engage with this polycrisis is as an introduction at the introductory level where it's easy to get overwhelmed because it is an overwhelming situation by definition. And so we've been talking a lot about that last hour. How did you do that? And how might we make it, kind of round the edges for new people coming in so that they don't have to get so overwhelmed. Um, they have an opportunity to perhaps learn from those who are a bit ahead of them on the path and a bit of a softer invitation to start to feel the more challenging emotions that they might be feeling. So for this one, I'd like to ask us to step into that where we are now. The folks here on the screen, and for many of you who are watching, you've been around this conversation for a while. You've got your practices that you're used to. How do you bring yourself back to center? How do you, um, what's the word I'm looking for? How do you self-regulate? How do you regulate with others? Meaning, how do you bring yourself back to center when life has knocked you off center? How do you sit with others that your loved ones and help each other to come back to center together? What are some of the practices that you use to expand your capacity to be present in front of this insanity? These are big, big challenges, and I would so appreciate hearing whatever each of us would like to share in light of that. Again,
Yeah.
for folks who are new to the conversation. So, thank you, Richard, for your patience sitting through that recap. And if you'd like to start us out by speaking about what you bring that's challenging, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. Well, it just hit me the other day, and I'm actually writing about this. I mean, I just put an article on Medium about it. Um, that, that whole idea of cancel culture. I don't even like the term, but it does have a certain accuracy to it. There was like this, trying to think how I can condense this here a little bit. Um, I just became aware that, the right wing and Trump and MAGA and all those sorts of people, they're engaging in some of the most intense and dangerous cancel culture that I've ever seen or heard. And I mean, it occurred to me that they're trying to cancel, literally, I mean, they're literally trying to cancel almost everything good and decent about our society.
Yeah.
I mean, they're canceling environmental programs, green programs. They're trying to cancel decent race relations and demonize immigrants and Hispanics and blacks and all kinds of people, LGBTQ people. I mean, it's like, are you mad? They're working to like cancel our humanity. I think that's the way it feels to me. They're trying to cancel science. They're trying to cancel sensible medicine. I mean, almost every aspect of progress is being undermined and canceled. That's insane. I mean, it's completely nuts. I mean, it's just bizarre. It's crazy. It's unconscionable. Anyway, that's the thing. It's really foremost on my mind right now, mainly because I've been thinking and writing about it a lot. And the more I've thought about it, the more I see that they're trying to gut and cancel and destroy. Um, and it's like, in this thing I just wrote, I called it cancel culture on steroids, you know. It's like way over the top. It's like anything good, anything remotely liberal, anything remotely democratic, anything remotely scientific is now being challenged and undermined and canceled. It's completely crazy, and yet that's where we are. So, um, in terms of how I grapple with that or how I deal with that in myself, very difficult. Sometimes I just have to get away from it. I mean, you mentioned watching TV earlier, and my partner Darlene's, you don't know this, Natalie, but my partner's disabled, and she had a bad stroke a few years ago, and she really can't do a whole lot. She can talk, luckily, and she can think perfectly well, and we can communicate, thank God. But she's doesn't can't do a whole lot physically, and by the time the evening rolls around, she's pretty tired out from just trying to get around the house a little bit. And so we just mainly sit in front of the TV and watch various programs and movies and things, almost all evening, every evening. And it's not necessarily how I'd prefer to spend all my time in the evening, but that's what we usually do. And I actually think it's helping me maintain my sanity because it is an escape from this crazy reality. I mean,
Mhm.
it's things are so off, so things are so off the wall and out of balance that just total escape. Sometimes I find I gotta have it. I gotta have that complete escape. And sometimes I play, video, not video games, but online games like backgammon and online solitaire and stuff. I'll just play backgammon and or solitaire for a while just to do something, completely different that's mindless and, fun and just sort of harmless, basically. And I do my reading and I do brief meditations and take naps and do various things that regenerate me, help me recharge my batteries, so to speak, or regenerate my energy a little bit. And spend time out in nature. Those things all help. But in terms of like actually confronting, the degree of this destruction and the degree of this canceling and undermining and gutting of all these good things that's going on, it's mind-boggling. I mean, it's like the scale of it is reaching this intensity that I could never have imagined in my lifetime, and yet, we're in the middle of it. We're already in the middle of it, and then it keeps ramping up. I mean, Trump and all those people are ramping up this stuff fast now, and wow, I don't know. I honestly don't. I don't know how to deal with this in a positive way, except to shut it off for a while sometimes because it's just so intense and so bizarre and overwhelming. I don't have any good I don't have any good inner solutions, actually, psychological solutions. I just don't at this point, except
Okay.
for the things I mentioned,
Yeah. Thank you, Richard. And you kind of mentioned briefly that you're doing an article, excuse me, doing an article for Medium, and should mention that I've been following you for quite a while as one of those authors in this collapse-aware space, in especially in Medium. And I know you write for other publications as well. And so your name is Richard Lowenthal, and you can people can find you on Medium and elsewhere. And thank you. I appreciate you cracking the ice on this one. And
yeah, I'll just mention on Medium, most of my stuff is what they call paywalled, and unfortunately, that means you have to be a member of Medium to read these things. But a lot of my stuff is also going on to this website called the Good Men Project, and there it's free. So not all my stuff, but a lot of it is on Medium. I mean, on the Good Men Project.
all right. Thank you. Natalie, do you feel ready to jump into this?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Just a
Yeah,
question. I'm not familiar with Medium. Is that like Substack or something? Is it an
it's
online?
like Substack. Yeah, it's an
Okay.
online
Okay.
online forum for writers and readers, and writers can write, put their articles on Medium, and you can do it on your own, or you can do it through various publications that they have on Medium,
Okay.
and you can, have it be free or paywalled, and I'm choosing to have it be paywalled right now and make a little bit of money at it, not much, but then they get republished for free on this Good Men Project website too. But yeah, I've been with Medium for a little over 3 years. Wait a minute. Yeah, 4 years now, actually.
Mm.
And I haven't gotten involved with Substack yet.
Okay. Also, when I said don't watch TV, I meant the news. I didn't mean everything else. Everything else is a good escape, and I do that as well. The Nature Channel and Netflix.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
PBS, sure, yeah, yeah,
Sometimes I just need to be mindlessly entertained and shut the
absolutely,
brain
and
off. So yeah,
especially now.
yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Okay, so I think there are two things that bother me the most, that I find most difficult. The first one is our complete trashing of the natural world, which is, as you mentioned, on steroids right now, with all of the environmental protections that are just being slashed and revving up the coal mines and the oil refineries and all of that, all of the progress that we had made that wasn't enough in the first place
I
is just
know.
going in the other direction. And I really resonated with your litany of the things that seemed to be going well in the 60s. That was my time. And I find myself often saying, like, what the hell did I do that for? You know, it's all gone. But anyway, so the
Yeah,
natural world, the species that we're losing over 1,000 species a day. That's incredible. The insects, the bees, the birds, I
yep.
have already noticed not as many birds, no more dragonflies. It's horrifying to me. So
Where are
that is
you?
what breaks my heart the most.
Where do you live?
I live in Massachusetts.
Oh, okay. I grew up there actually.
Oh, did you? Where?
Sharon, Massachusetts.
Oh, I'm in East Bridgewater.
Really? Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
exactly where that is. Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm very lucky. I live in an old house and I have woods, a little patch of woods in back of me. I have a herd of deer. So I can
Hmm.
go out there and
Yeah.
pretend that the world does not exist. So that just the wanton destruction of the planet and the stupidity of it. I mean, where do we think we're going to live if we destroy our home? I don't understand
I
it.
know.
The other thing that really does bother me. It's easy for me to take a dim view of humanity, and I try not to because I am human, more or less. But I really feel like we are a species that has such potential
Yeah.
on a soul level. You know, I think we're here to grow on a soul level. And we're very clever, we're intelligent, we're good at starting things, we're not good at maintaining things or ending things well. We
Yeah.
never have been. So it really bothers me to think that we might obliterate ourselves and end this process without ever having achieved what we came here to become. And I'm not religious, but whatever that is,
Yeah.
that really bothers me because there's no reason why we couldn't. And if we could just get that piece of it. Um, and I think that piece of it would necessitate coming out of the amnesia that we seem to have descended into, this global amnesia, and remembering that life is sacred.
Yeah.
Everything,
Hmm.
the natural world, the animals, us, we are sacred. We don't treat anything that way, including our own selves, most of us,
Right.
you know? So I don't know how that desacralization happened or when, or if there's a way out of it. But I think that's what needs to happen. And part of that is falling in love once again with the world,
Hmm.
with each other, with ourselves, with what we see when we look out the window. And I don't know how that's going to happen either, but I think that's the key. I think that has to happen. What I do to cope, I spend a lot of time in nature. I have to, or I would kill someone. So I go into the woods. I go into the woods, and I have learned through Seminary of the Wild, I have learned how to reconnect. I have learned how to sit there and be quiet and listen. I've learned how to connect with a particular. I have trees that I visit, and it's really the same process as a human friendship. You come with respect. You don't assume. You take your time. You don't go up and just hug a tree that you've never met. You court these beings. You do. You court these beings. And
Hmm.
eventually, because we don't have a very good reputation in the natural world these days, if you're
Right.
consistent and you do all the right stuff, eventually, maybe if you're lucky, they will choose to talk to you. Not in English, but they
Hmm.
will choose to communicate because they really want that. I believe the rest of the world is just holding its breath, waiting for us to smarten up, waiting for us to return.
Yeah.
Thomas Berry talks about the great conversation. Everything else is talking to each other, but we're not. We're only talking to ourselves, and that's not working well. You can't even do
Wow.
that anymore and get a good result. So I do that a lot. Um, I go out every morning and greet the sun. I go before the sun comes up. I have a spot and I wait and I greet the sun. I stare at the sun for a few minutes. That really helps me. I earth. I go out in my bare feet and I connect. I do a lot of practices for gratitude. I think that's what grounds me, being in gratitude,
Hmm.
you know, just, and it's not that hard. If you just open your eyes, you can find a million things to be grateful for. No matter what your situation is, there's always something to be grateful for. And we in this country have more than others to be grateful for if we would just. And so being in gratitude takes you out of the capitalistic, um, over consuming rat race. If you
Right.
if your gratitude, if you're grateful for what you have, if you know that you have enough, if you know that you are enough, then you're not always looking to get something else or, buy, consume, waste, that whole cycle that's really hard to step out of. So I do that. And I think the last thing is to just find other people, find your tribe, find people that you don't have to code switch in a conversation, find people that you can have these conversations with, that
Yep.
you don't have to sugarcoat things, that you can say, my God, I am so overwhelmed. I just need to sit here and cry, and please just sit with me. That's important. I
Yeah.
cry a lot. I never cried growing up, really. I was English and Irish, so we don't stiff up a lip and all that. It's very much frowned upon. I have cried more in the past 5 years than I've cried in my previous life, and it feels good. It's a release. It's a
Hmm.
release. It's a
Yeah.
cleansing.
Yeah.
So those are a few things that I do, but I'm always looking for something more. As the heat increases, there's always got to be. It's a constant battle to keep yourself regulated and to keep yourself out of despair. Really,
Yeah.
it's a dance. Yeah, but finding other people is huge,
Hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
and they're out there. They're out there because we're all suffering. We're all, whether we know it or not,
Yeah.
we're all suffering. Yeah. And one more thing that was not easy for me ever is to really be honest about how to speak out, to speak my truth. I have learned that when I do that, even when my voice shakes, somebody listening to me might feel encouraged to do the same.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
that's huge. That's huge. Yeah.
it
So I'm
is.
more and more I'm willing to do that. Yeah. All right. That's all.
That's plenty. Wow. A lot.
I think about this all the time. This is my life now. So
Me too. Me too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
me too.
Hmm.
Thank you, Natalie and Richard, both of you. Just beautiful. And I'm so validated um, at the core of these evolutionary steps of this work, growing, changing, shifting to somehow try and keep up with the craziness. Much of what you both have shared and what I'm about to share, it's they've been consistent threads the whole time of these 10 years anyway that I've been looking. Um, the threads of reconnecting with deeper self, of reconnecting with others, reconnecting with earth, and reconnecting with soul. And obviously, hopefully it's obvious by now why I have such a love of the work that you're doing, Natalie, in the work that reconnects, and why I had such a resonance as I was searching everywhere for any kind of work that would be relevant to this inner work of the imminent collapse back more than 12 years now ago. Um, Reconnection, because we have so desperately disconnected from every source of meaning and relationship in human life. No wonder we're going crazy and we're self-terminating. No wonder. It's really
Yeah.
not all that difficult to figure out.
Nope.
So,
So
so thank you both. And my version of this response, responding to this prompt, is hmm, I I'm just slowing down right now to slow my breathing and my thinking, my speaking, and that way I can open this sort of gate, if you will, which I've been blessed with being able to open it to be able to touch into some of the beauty that's always there. And it's from there that I'd like to just share what is most disturbing to me about these times and how I am am addressing it. Uh, Perhaps this is a similar thing to what Richard was saying about how we've chosen uh, so many of the powerful in the world have chosen to vilify human connection, to vilify the other, uh, to vilify even this method that seems inborn in us of having a sense of empathy, a sense of being able to momentarily walk in another's shoes and to just get a sense of this is what their humanness is experiencing. And here's what my humanness is experiencing, and to see where they resonate, and that there's an extraordinarily nourishing humanness in inviting that resonance, inviting that openness to experiencing it, even in someone who's very, very different than I am. And I've worked a lot. I've never had children, but I've worked a lot with troubled youth and troubled adults who are themselves just slightly older troubled youth for years. And it's been a tough crowd to be with because they just want to live a life.
Mhm.
They just want to see the possibility of having children of their own someday, or to create in a certain way, or to succeed, or at least try in certain ways. And there's a particular kind of cruelty going on as this large scale authoritarian structure is being imposed on us that um, is really taking away that access to possibility, that place where that we dream from, that
Mhm.
place where that we're sometimes calling soul, where we can touch into the dream of the earth or the dream of others, the dreams of others.
Mhm.
And it feels like it's being um, t- energetically and literally torn from us,
Mhm.
our ability to dream or to feel ourselves having the agency to dream. And it feels like that is a part of our soul, or collective and individual souls is literally being taken out in that process. And that for me, that is, I'm just slowing down to appreciate. I don't get to say these words to many people. This is a weird thing to be saying to many of the folks that I know and I love dearly, and they love me, and yeah. But I'm just slowing down to appreciate both of you for holding space for me to say this, because it is a strange thing to be saying. And so this is one of the most disturbing parts of what's going on, because
Mhm.
it's justifying the dehumanization of massive swaths of humanity on the planet. And that's not going to be a pretty thing as it unfolds. So, how I cope with that. I'm so very, very thankful for doing this work, for creating the space in which this work can occur. It's just such a privilege, and it is such of such value to me every time I get to sit in circle. Hmm. And so much of what you shared, Natalie, I also do, and Richard, for that matter, what you're doing. I'm binge watching Breaking Bad right now on
Oh,
Netflix.
yeah.
It
Yes.
is one of the most disgusting shows I think I've ever seen. It's not a good part of humanity. And
Yeah.
even though a couple of people are reassuring me, oh yeah, it's worth it, stay with it, I don't have a good feeling about this. I don't think it's going to be some
Yeah.
great insights or opening of my heart. But in any case, I have certainly my places where I dump my attention for for the occasional unconscious release.
Oh, yeah.
But um, as you both have shared, that there are ways in which my creating videos, or soon to be writing quite a bit more and putting it out there, that will be and is a big part of how I can cope, is that if in some way I can create something that communicates essential information, that without it, people are heading into just savage daily reality. And so that's sometimes a useful expression. I have a deep love of poetry and some visual arts and so on, and music. Uh, I also spend time in nature, and I'm so very, very thankful that I'm living in a forest situation above a small town here in Oregon, and um, so appreciative that I live in relative stillness much of the time. And I forget which of you might have said it in, you both said it in different ways. There's a way that I quite early on learned how important it was that I needed to learn how to shed my armoring that I had taken on in my young wounding and became a very angry young man. And I'm so thankful for those times and the people who sat with me in circle and process groups. Oh my God, intense and long and I wouldn't I don't regret a moment of it. It's just been so freeing to be able to touch back into that space, that hard-won space where the armoring used to be, at least the majority of it is not there. Hmm. So I'm slowing down again, and that gate is pretty much open, and I can feel a flooding of warmth into my face and tears, pushing out from behind my eyes because again, I'm not a parent, but I can't help but walk through my world and the parents I have worked with, and I'm crystal clear the hardest job on the planet right now is to be a parent who is even slightly collapse aware. And how the hell, in an age appropriate way, do you introduce your child to what the fuck is going on this planet?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you? It's hard enough
Uh,
being on my own and putting it in, doing sense making on my own.
Mhm.
right.
So um, there is I I want to call it an addiction because it seems right, but it's just playfully using that word. I am so deeply motivated to stay connected with people and hold space for one another in sacred circle, to
Mhm.
keep bringing the sacred that you mentioned a number of times, Natalie. That seems like it's the other end of the spectrum from the polarization and the judgment and the toxic um, dehumanization on the one end of the spectrum.
Mhm.
And on the other is our ability to unfold our souls with each other.
Mhm.
And so that is that is an essential part of what I do. Here's a one last silly thing. I mean, I call it silly, but it's really not. I do a 9 to 5 job. I work at a hardware store here in Ashland, Oregon, and it is the center of town. It is where everybody goes to feel good, to get their stuff fixed or, the stuff that they need for their home. And multiple times, I'm just walking the floor, interacting with people all the time about whatever it is that they're needing. And multiple times every single day, people will come and say, I love you guys.
Really?
I love this place, this
Huh.
silly ass hardware store.
Huh.
And
Huh.
I'm, as far as I know, actually, there's maybe one other person in the crew that works there that might have a similar way of saying it, but I think all of us are there to be of service, first and foremost. And the owners of this store are deeply committed to that as well,
Mhm.
That's really cool.
which for business, I don't know, it's rare. And
Yeah.
so I've got to practice when I go to work, which I'll be doing soon, is it is so easy for me to just take off the coat of this collapse stuff that I'm wearing all the time.
Mhm.
I just take it off. I don't need to have it with me. I'm not denying anything. I'm just shifting the deployment of my attention to being of
Right.
service and to
Mhm.
not being my story about the collapsing world. Just
Yeah.
volitional choice. And I come out of every day lighter and more alive. My feet hurt like hell,
Uh,
but I'm more alive and I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity to serve people in this sincere way.
mhm.
So that's my final note of what I do to cope in the face of this, the most challenging conversation in human history. Is there anything that either of you would like to say to start to check out, to start to wrap up, or reflect on anything that you've
Yeah.
heard the others of us say, or anything from our time together?
Yeah, I got something I was kind of moved to realize while you both were talking. Um, and I think in a way, and I think other people have said this too, in a way, the essence of this dark destruction, the destructive cancel culture or, all the undermining of all these good things and the destruction of a lot of our social safety net and all these things. It's like, it struck me that it's really a kind of nihilism. It's this very dark, pessimistic, uh, very kind of closed in view of things, where we're not connected to anything, like you guys were saying. We're not connected to the earth, we're not connected to each other, we're not even connected to ourselves. It's like nihilism is, I mean, that means nothingness. I mean, it's like it's like being stuck in this state of nothingness and emptiness. And that can only lead to horrible things, that can only lead to pain and suffering and horrors. And but I'm also thinking, okay, what's the opposite? What's the opposite of nihilism? And I would say it's love and connection and appreciation, I guess. Love, connection, and gratitude, and all those things are like the antidote, you know, to nihilism. And so, I still maintain a kind of this core in myself where I do feel love and I do feel gratitude and I do feel those kind of antidote energies. But the nihilism itself is like so toxic. It's just utterly toxic. And so, yeah, I mean, finding the antidotes to the nihilism, I think that's what we're doing. That's what we're trying to do. Some antidotes that'll keep us, keep our sanity intact and let us survive these times.
Mm.
That's what I wanted to say.
Beautiful, Richard. Thank you.
Dean, I wanted to thank you for your deep emotional sharing and the trust to be that
Yeah.
vulnerable. Particularly with me, you don't know me at all. You know Richard, but that's very special. And I was struck by your saying that of the things that bother you, it's the robbing of our ability to dream. I'm going to think about that for a long time. That just really resonated with me because if you
Mm,
can't dream, then there's no point in living.
Mm.
That's what keeps us alive more than anything else is our ability to dream. More than hope, even. It's our ability to dream and to plug into the dream of the earth because she does have one
mm,
and she'd like us to be part of it. Um, and the thought occurred to me, Richard, while you were talking. Each of us has mentioned the speed, the breakneck speed with which things seem to be collapsing and just getting worse. And I'm wondering if that perhaps is not in a way a blessing because if this was, we don't have the time to even catch our breath before we're on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And while that's really off-putting and difficult in its own way, might it not be worse if it was more dragged out, if the same thing was happening, but
Mhm.
it was more elongated and we had to agonize over each thing step by step? I had not thought of that before.
Hmm.
So maybe, we're gonna, I think, end up at the same place, whether it's slow or fast. So maybe it being accelerated is in fact a blessing. I don't
Mhm.
know. I don't know. This was wonderful. Before you came on, Richard, I told Dean that I'd been aware of him, his name, and I get emails, and I'd never really delved into this. This was amazing, and I think I might like to be part of your community and attend more of your offerings. I think that you can never have too many spaces where you can be who you really are,
Yeah.
because they don't
Right.
exist in the world, my world anyway.
Yep.
They're all
Oh yeah.
online. They're all online, and that's okay.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
okay. It is such a relief to be with people that you don't have to constantly be worrying, well, I don't want to say that because they'll be upset, and I don't want to be the doomer. Nobody wants doom. Nobody wants to hear it.
Mhm.
So, you stuff a
Yeah.
lot of things, and that's not therapeutic in any way. And we all need spaces where we can feel seen and heard, and where our true selves are welcome. So thank you both.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And I'm
Well,
sorry you live in Texas. I'll say a prayer for you.
yeah, we need it for sure.
I know you do. We
Oh my
all need
God.
it. We all need it, but some of us more than others.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know I miss Massachusetts sometimes. It's such a different energy up there. It's
It
really
sure is.
amazing. It's
Yep.
so different.
Yep. We got the
Uh,
good politicians here. There
yeah,
is
yeah,
such a
right.
thing.
Well, I just want to say I really appreciate, your contributions today, Natalie, and you really obviously are fit exactly right in with what we're doing here, clearly. So, I really hope you do come back, and I'd love to participate with you more.
Me as well. So how would I do that? How would I know what's going on? What's the best way to do that?
The best way is to keep reading the emails that are going to be coming fast and furious between now and the end of the year.
Okay.
The next thing that you might want to check out is on the third Saturday in October, exactly the same times. Excuse me. That we'll be doing far less of the presentation of what's coming and what the courses look like and so on, and far more of the actual processes, the actual exercises or activities that we can do together, and the sharing and the holding space. And you could be sure to jot down my email and connect with me anytime you have a question. Also, in every one of those invitations that you get in email, that you'll see a little button that says, "Hey, come join our online community space." And I think, if I remember right, doesn't the work that reconnects have a Mighty Networks space or
Yes.
no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
No, the work that reconnects doesn't, but Seminary of the Wild does. I'm already on that.
great. So we have one also.
Okay.
That's where this new offering, this it's probably going to be a 4 month cycle, so a reduced from a year to a 4 month cycle. Each month there will be a bit of content. Each month there will be a theme that will bring to the first and third Saturday sessions in each month.
First
So all that information will be unfolded more and more in each email that you see from now on, because we're literally rolling it out now.
So,
So there's the Poetry of Predicament podcast, which is where the recordings from today's two sessions will be posted in a day or so. And I would hope that you dig around. Did a recent focus on the power groups that are behind the Trump 2.0 presidency that is particularly, I think, quite useful and an unusual track that I haven't seen quite done by others. So there's that kind of stuff.
There's a lot
The
of good videos, a lot of good videos on that Poetry of Predicament page or whatever it is. Yeah.
Mhm. And we do have the Safe Circle calls, which again are a drop-in style support group. Just a different energy, and from time to time it gets pretty pretty deep sharing, and it's always just a sweet space. But I'm sure you got a few of those. There is also one that I'd like to mention that is about as engaged, experiential, and deep as our spaces get on a regular basis. That's the community of practice, and that's on Thursday mornings from, help me out, Richard. I believe it's from 8 to 9:30 Pacific time, so you can do the.
Yeah, where I am it's 10 to 11, 10 to 11:30, yeah. Thursday mornings, yeah.
It would just be gorgeous to have you put your toe in the water and come check it out and see if it's something you'd like to do on a regular basis. It's yeah, it's a fit with where we've gone today.
mm,
And it's very much my intention that we're going to up the ante in that group as well, because in order to be functional for what's coming, we need to up the ante. We need to go to the next level.
yeah.
There's some shadow work that I'm anticipating so that we can collectively and individually have more and more awareness of shadow dynamic at every level, from intimate relationships and ourselves to national and international, amongst other things that we'll be diving into in the community of practice.
That sounds good. So the third Thursday, I mean, the third Saturday would be the 18th. Is that right for this month?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
I will be in both Saturday and Sunday. We're doing work that reconnects all day, both days
Uh-huh.
thing. So I know I can't make that, but I will. So 8 o'clock, 9, 10 it would be 11 here. Maybe next Thursday, which would be the 9th, right?
yes.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be great.
All right. And that's the community. I'll try for that because I have nothing that day.
Good. That would be great.
Natalie, would you do me a favor and put your email address in the chat here? I will be sure to include you in the reminder email
Okay.
that I put out for getting you to Thursday.
Okay. That was. Do you have a website also?
Yes, it's very much in reconstruction right now, but it's sort of
Okay.
functional.
Yeah. You mean livingresilience.net, that one?
Yep.
Arts at Comcast.net.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, beautiful. Is there anything else from any of us?
Not right now. I really enjoyed our conversation and all the different meandering avenues we explored.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very good.
This was a wonderful alternative to the vacuuming that I had planned. So thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you on a
right.
practical level. I still have to do
Yep.
it.
All right.
No, I'm good for now. Looking forward to seeing you guys on Thursday.
Yeah, this is awesome. This was awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, both of you. This was
And I would just like to thank you both so much because this has also been wonderful for me. I literally had no idea what would be happening. I thought actually that I would be alone on the screen and then I would just record like a presentation introducing the coursework and all that.
Hmm.
So thank you so much. It has been so alive and so, I don't know, just juicy.
It has
Uh,
been juicy, yes.
and for
I like that term. Yeah.
just a moment, if I may, I would like to share a recent practice that I've been doing,
Mhm.
which is meditating and spending very, very quiet, healing time with horses.
Oh yeah. Oops.
Can you?
Oh yeah. Oh wow. Huh.
Yeah, it
wow.
it's pretty spectacular. If you get a chance in your neighborhood, I recommend it highly.
Wow.
Horses are energetic lighthouses. They just
Yeah.
have this extraordinary field around them that is far larger than our auras or our presence or our field might be.
Huh.
And their ability to read very, very delicate cues in that energy, in that field of all the beings around it.
Mhm.
Uh, it is exquisite. So, with that, on that note, thank you both again.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's
Thank
great.
you.
I would
Huh.
look forward to seeing you both. It sounds like, what is that? Is that next Thursday?
Yep, this coming Thursday, sure. Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Have a great few days. See you guys then. All right.